Alright, so we're going to get this thing going. Waiting on everybody to come on in as I try to get my mood right. My mood keeps messing with me. We'll go over some universal laws once again and talk about all these things that really are plaguing us that we don't understand is really going on. Alright, so come on in. Waiting on this music to pull me in. I'm gonna do it like now. I hope that we have a better connection this time, because I tell you what, the last time I did this session, you know, we had you're saying the video is breaking up? Is the video breaking up, or my audio with you breaking up? Okay, okay, good. Now, Abdul, this is what I need. Abdul. So anyway, we're going to go on with universal law and deal with this, what we've been talking about. Now, give me 1 second, because I'm gonna end this session because Abdul can't hear me very well. All right, so if you all can hear me okay out there, please let me know, because last time I did this, I was breaking up a lot. And that's why I'm having to redo it today. Julia, hola sister. Barry, Taj, what's up? All right, so can you all hear me okay? Because I don't want to be breaking up again and then have to redo this whole message, which is this is my second time redoing it. All right, you all with me? All right, so we're going to do it like this. Now, first of all, I need to say before I start this session that when I speak on this information, I'm not asking you to believe it. I don't want you to believe it. I want you to receive the information and then go and research it for yourself. That way you know for self if it's true or if it's not. So what I'm speaking on today is universal law. Now, first thing I want to get into, I had a brother that was really very adamant about, we need to talk about civil law. We need to talk about, the laws and why people are getting beat up and all of this. Well, here's the deal. The reason why I say universal law is more important to me than civil law and all this other stuff is because of the simple fact that we are not understanding what's going on in this universe. And the truth is, it doesn't matter if you're not understanding universal laws and the fact that this whole dimension is spiritual, then it doesn't matter about law and all of this other information that you might know, because you're going to still fall into the same trap. All right, so universal law stands above all of this other law of the land. And also, money can't help someone whose spirit is surrounded by negative energy. We don't understand that, but that's one of the things we're going to go into this evening. All right, now, are you all seeing me clearly, or am I breaking up? Can somebody hit me, give me some information out there and let me know if I'm breaking up, so that I can make sure we're on point as I continue this video. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and continue. Hopefully, there's Marvin. All right, so we're going to do this. Now, let's talk about universal law and what it is. Now, universal laws are basically a set of laws that govern the universe and all of the beings that's in it. So this is not just for those who are in the 3rd dimension, which is what we are, but if you're in the 6th dimension, the 10th dimension, these laws, they deal with you as well. So in all of those beings, and basically, if you're in this universe, then your spirit and any energy you put out is going to be governed by these laws. Now, this is basically according to what we've all seen. So, and I'm sure there are some exceptions, but I won't go into that. But let's go into the basic laws that we know about, or some of them. Now, one of the main universal laws that we all know is whatever energy you put out must come back. Now, by the way, you can go and look these laws up, universal laws and what they are. Thank you, Julia. You can go and look these up, the universal laws and what they are and how they affect you. Now, the law I just said, whatever energy you put out must come back. Now let's deal with that and understand exactly what that means, because all of us have seen this law. We call it karma, but really it is a law. So let's talk about where we've seen this work. You remember that time you saw someone and they needed $10 or whatever, and you just passed it over. No problem. You didn't ask for anything back. You just gave that out of love, and you had no thought of even receiving it back. But what happened to you 5 days later, 7 days later? You received that money back many times over. That just happened to all of us. When you see someone and you just give, that is whatever energy you put out must come back. But it comes back many times over. Now, again, we call that karma. But what that really is, again, is that law in action. And we see it, we just don't understand what it's doing. Now, one of the things that we don't understand also is that those in power use these laws every day in our face, and we don't even see it or understand it. So for an example, some of you all might be aware that large corporations are going to give away funds. They're going to set aside funds at the end of their fiscal year, and then they're going to give that away during the next year to different charities or whatever. That is an example of that law being used, because they fully understand universal law. So guess what? You could be the biggest asshole in the world. If you put this energy out, the same way you take funds and you put that out, they give it to whomever they want to. But they understand that when they do altruistic acts of kindness, that it must come back because it's a law. And that's something that we're not understanding. Whatever energy you put out, it must come back. And so that's going to be the thing. You're going to hear me say that again tonight, because that's the biggest thing we're not understanding is energy. And so whatever we're receiving is energy that we put out. So now, that being said, when I just said whatever energy we put out, now again, we're good with accepting, we got something good that came to us because I put this out and I gave this to that guy, so yeah, I got some money back and, I did good. But when that negative thing comes on you, you don't want to accept that. That God must have did that. God just lets things happen. It was the devil that did it. It was some other negative entity. But no, the truth is it was you. Again, every energy that is coming to you is energy that you put out. So let's talk about another universal law, and that law is there are no victims. We get upset when when somebody says, I'm the victim. You victim blaming, Diva. You victim blaming. There are no victims. Again, pull down the universal laws. Check them, and they are very real. So we want to accept the positive things that come to us because, it's because I did something good and I did something great. But when something negative comes to you, somebody else did it. When the truth is, if you're getting negative energy, it's because you put it out, period, point blank. We want to be the guys where we are also the devil, period. So that's one of the things we need to understand. Now let's understand this, universal language. Because that's one of the biggest things that we are not up on. The universe speaks to us. We just don't understand what the universe is saying. So let's understand this. Speaking to you whenever you see certain things. For example, that guy who's getting stuff stolen from him all the time, the universe is showing you a thief. He stole something. And I had somebody else to tell me this the other day. He said, the universe is just perfect. Okay. And he said rapes and whatever, and robberies and all that. He said that's just the universe perfect. But then when we start talking about, you know, one of the ones that people always ask me, what about the child rape? Well, when we start talking about that, he started wanting to get sensitive. Well, let's understand what that is. Now, all of us are spirits in this dimension. We, as a matter of fact, we're spirits in these vessels that we call bodies. These bodies are nothing but avatars that our spirits are operating. And we're not getting that. And so when we understand that these vessels are basically our avatars and we are spirits operating them, well, let's look at it from that perspective, because as spirits, we don't ever die. You know it, and I can go into the scientific part of it. You know that this is not your first time here. You've seen things. They call it deja vu, but there's no explanation for what it is. Oh, well, that's your spirit moving without you, without your vessel, rather. That's you, your spirit, moving without the vessel. And so we've seen this. We just don't understand and grasp it and put it into its proper context. So let's understand this. The spirits don't die. This is not your first time here. And then I won't even go into what sin really means, because it doesn't mean what all these religious people are telling you it means. But your spirit, this is not your spirit's first time here. You've been here before. So now you're here, and the thing is, whatever energies you put out in that previous vessel, it's going to follow you into the vessel you're in now. So we're understanding that. And so let's take an example, because when we're talking about the child rape, let's take an example. If there's a being or a spirit that was here at another time, that was putting out all kind of dirt, raping women, whatever, and they end up in prison, for example, and somehow they end up getting killed and stabbed in prison. Well, that dirt that they put out does not go away. It doesn't go away. They're going to, that spirit's got to come back up in here. It's got to come back. And when it comes back, it's got to be in a vessel. What vessel is it going to be in? Well, it's going to be in a child's vessel first. And then you understand why it's all this stuff about, oh, you know, be good before you die, do good, don't you go to hell. Well, isn't hell like being in the body of a child being raped and you can't do anything about it? Because, I mean, that is hell. You can't do anything about it because you're a child. That's hell. So energies, again, you want to say, oh, it's so sad, and I understand that. I'm not saying anybody should or shouldn't. We're saying that you have to understand the language that the universe speaks. If somebody's getting an energy coming on them, it is because they put that energy out at some other point in time. It might not have been in this particular lifetime. It might have been in another one. But in this lifetime, we can see when we put out energies, they come back. And the thing is, we want to try to ignore it. We want to try to think things are happenstance. Nothing in this universe is happenstance. If it happens to you, it's an energy that you put out. That's the universe. That's the language that it speaks. So just the same thing when you hear someone telling you, oh, everybody who I dated was a liar and a cheater and this and that. That person is likely a liar and a cheater and everything they said that person in the relationship was. So you've got to understand that as you see these things that are taking place in your dimension, you need to understand that's the universe speaking to you. When you see things happening and you see, the other thing we've been taught is to be emotional because we think everything is happenstance. Well, we've got to start looking at the universe for what it is and understanding when it's speaking to us. If you're not willing to take time to understand what the universe is saying when it's speaking to you, then you're going to stay in fear. And that's another thing that we need to, that I want to address here as I speak. Fear. Why we're fearing so much? Why are you so afraid of the police? You're so afraid of IRS? You're so afraid. You're not even understanding who you are as a being. And so let me finish up here with respect to, again, the universal language and what it's speaking and how we need to start understanding that the things that we're seeing is not happenstance. It didn't just all of a sudden pop up. Everything is an energy. Everything is an energy. You want to be proud of the good stuff that happens to you, but when the bad stuff happens to you, or you want to be thinking it's an outside entity. No, you are the God. You are also the devil. Every energy that comes on you is energy that you put out. That is the universal law. That is the language is speaking to you. When you understand that, then you can clean up your energy. Now let's get this. You know, we get a lot of people fearing, as I spoke about the law and about the government and this and that. Again, we're not understanding who we are and the fact that we bring these energies on us. So let me, and I won't go into a lot of history on this. All right, so I won't go into a lot of history on this, but I want to deal with, we get a lot of comments about, oh, our brothers in jail. They beating our brothers up and putting them in jail. Well, let's understand what is really happening, because I won't go deep into energy. I've got posts and videos on my YouTube channel that go into this, so I won't go deep into it, but let's talk a little bit about history and what really happened. All right, so we are under the assumption that melanated people were the original slaves in the Americas. Well, that's not true. The original slaves were Caucasians or non-melanated people. We'll say it like that, the Irish. All right, so let's even understand first what the term slave meant and where it's derived from. The term slave is derived from the term Slavic or Slovakian. Those are non-melanated people. So you got first of all, the term didn't apply to melanated people originally. And then secondly, the true people who it applied to were your Caucasians, your non-melanated people, your Irish people, your people being brought over from Europe, your Indo-Europeans. So now that we understand that, first of all, who was enslaving them? These people who we know as Moors in history, brutish Moors, Britons. Then they were melanated. These are melanated Britons. These are Moroccan Moors that we know of. And probably the Native Americans participated in that as well. But let's understand what happened. We got these people bringing in these non-melanated people to be slaves in the Americas. And you can look this up. Also, let me give you another one. Look up Moorish bathhouses, because those, the non-melanated women, the Caucasian women that the Moors were bringing in as concubine. So look up Moorish bathhouses, look up white slaves. All right, so that you can start to understand what was really going on back then. See, we don't know our history, and so because we don't know our history, we keep fearing everything, and we don't understand really what we did. We delivered some negative spirits. Our people delivered some things. Our ancestors, which is really us, delivered some things in the past that have been hidden. So let's uncover this so that we can understand what the hell is really going on and start changing this energy that is surrounding us. All right, so we've got Moors bringing in Caucasian women as concubine. They put them in these Moorish bathhouses. Look up Moorish bathhouses, and they're sexing them in and out. This is where your mixed breeds come from, your so-called Native Americans that the media is throwing up in your face today. Your so-called your Mexicans, your Peruvians. They were getting their swirl on. You understand? So here's the deal. We don't even understand what role we played in it. So now you got to understand, just because they put that out back then, it's not like that energy goes away. So when we look at the United States, and we have to understand what is really going on in this land where there's such a high level of enslavement and imprisonment in this country. Why is that? So we have to understand what really is going on with the energies in the land of the Americas, especially North America, what really took place? Well, when we see what took place, it was melanated people who were originally enslaving non-melanated people. So now, once again, let's go back to that law. Whatever energy you put out must come back. It must come back. It's a law. That's why they call it a law. Because that's what it is. Unlike these laws of the land where they decide to change them. But even these laws of the land are not really laws. But I won't get into that because I'm going into that in the law segment in a couple of days. But understand that energies that we put out come back, and you are seeing that because you see the universe talking. So when you look in the prison industrial complex today and you see all those melanated people that are locked up, you need to ask yourself, what went down with their spirit? All right, those are the same spirits that were doing the enslaving back in the day. Those are look again, we are our ancestors. Those are the same spirits that were doing the enslaving back then. Who are the ones incarcerating them today? Those Caucasians, those are the same spirits that were enslaved. All these KKKs and these people that call themselves hating melanated people and wanting to beat us down and all this. Those were the ones who were originally enslaved. Those were the ones they brought over here as children and enslaved them in this country. The women, those are the ones who were being raped and sexed in the Moorish bathhouses. So all you're seeing is a reversal of the energies. Whatever energy you have put out, it is going to come back, and now it is returning. And so this is what you're seeing now. So when we understand this, what we can start to do is understand, okay, well, how do we clean it up? Because that becomes a question. Well, then, we did that long time ago. What do we need to do to clean it up? We have to change our energy. Now, one of the ways that we do that is by supporting and helping ourselves. Once again, whatever energy you put out must come back. So, we keep asking for things. And I need to tell you this. Melanated people are the richest people on the planet. We got more money than we can even imagine. You can't tap it because your energies are all jacked up. Change your energy. Be willing to do for your people without asking. And that's what we're not. If I do it, I need to make some money. And I understand that because some of our people just do not respect anything that comes to them for free. So we have to maintain a balance. But here's what I found. My people don't even want to go out and help their people. When I do a service for somebody, my biggest thing to them is, can you please just go help your people? I don't even get that. So when we, again, start changing our energy, because look, you have all the money you need, you cannot access it. I'll give you an example. I was helping a sister. As a matter of fact, no, a sister came to me. She said, the Spirit sent me to you, Diva, and asked me to ask you about parthenogenesis. And I answered her questions, and we talked. And finally, she said, she kept complaining after we were having a couple of conversations. She said, Diva, if I had known you before I bought this house, because she had just bought a house, and expensive house, I wouldn't have done it, and because you have all your freedom and this and that and blah, blah, blah. Well, I said to her, really, I had learned to ignore people when they complain. Because most people, they don't want to listen. They just want to complain just to hear themselves complain. And then when you give them a solution, they never use it. So I had learned to stop asking because I had been telling all of my family, all of my friends, everybody who I knew, listen, I can help you with this information. I can help you with that. Nobody listened. So when she came to me, I was not even trying to hear it. I didn't want to get involved. And so the Spirit spoke to me and they said, Diva, you can help her. And I was like, I don't even want to be involved in that. And finally, I decided if I'm going to deal with this, I need to deal with it under a contract. Why? Because I don't like to waste my time. So I still got issues with that. People waste my time. I'm going to be upset. So I'd rather you be upset with me than for me to be upset with you. So I made a contract. I said, look, sister, I can help you. Here's the contract. It's not much, but I can show you, I can help you get out of your house note. So she came back to me and she said, okay, well, let's do it. So we went under contract. Now, mind you, after we got finished taking care of the house and getting the house note taken care of, we took care of the taxes, we took care of the car note, we took care of the credit cards. She doesn't have any bills anymore. And she has knowledge of how to help other people. Now the question, as I was helping her and we were going through this session, the question was, why you? Why you? Because I told all other people about, how I can help them, and nobody wanted to hear it. But why are you able to receive this information? And as we kept going, the spirits did speak to me. And they said, basically, because look, every time we do a session, she would say, Diva, I can't do the session today on Wednesday because I have to feed the homeless. I have to go and feed the homeless. And I said to myself, okay, that's fine. Well, we'll do it Thursday and Friday. But it never registered to me that this woman was really doing for her people just because. And told me, listen, I don't feel any happier in my life than when I'm helping the homeless. When I'm helping feed someone, I'm just the happiest I can be. So what she had gotten, she has built up universal currency. I call it universal currency. What does that mean, universal currency? Ain't no universal currency. Universal currency is what you get when you put out love in any form. Remember, whatever energy you put out must come back. So when you put out positive energy, that is universal currency. And again, the universe doesn't forget what you put in. It doesn't forget the energy that you put in. So when you're putting in all of this energy, and you're really building up your bank with the universe. That's the way you need to look at it, because that's what's going on. So now when you ask the universe, I don't feel like paying for this house note. I don't feel like paying for this car note. I don't feel like paying these taxes. Now you have something built up to actually receive it. And this woman had built up all of this. Listen, house note was not cheap. This one of those houses in, those neighborhoods where they gated community and all that. You got that. She's no car notes, no taxes, no. Are you understanding? All of that was taken care of. How much money was relieved off of her head? And that was because she had changed her energy. And she built up universal currency. Listen, 1 hour of your time and love to somebody, just helping them, is worth more than any Federal Reserve note, any job can pay you. So if you see that guy, he needs help with his grass being cut, even if you don't have any money, go to the old folks home, just tell them, I love you. So how many of our people have you helped? Recently, just do something, put out positive energy so that when you ask for something, the universe can deliver it to you. Because some of y'all are asking for things, and you haven't put anything out. You want to blame everybody else. Oh, it ain't my fault. Look, once again, if you are getting that energy coming down on you, it's because you put it out. Period. Period. There are no victims. None. So if you want to change that, change your energy. If you're telling me, you're cut off from everybody, then how you putting energy out? Find some people who can receive and appreciate your energy and put it out. Put out good energy. Because if you're not, then you're not giving the universe anything back. So it can't give to you. So we've got to change our energy. Now, this other thing that I need to speak on is this fear. That's the biggest thing that we need to move past, because we're not, again, and this is the thing. Whatever energy you put out must come back. So then if you're not putting out a negative energy, should you be getting one back? No, that's not what the universal law says. And if you don't know the universal laws, once again, please go look them up. Because if you're not putting out negative, then you should not be receiving it. No, you don't receive somebody else. Where's my dad energy? Because my dad was. If you're not putting it out, it should not be coming back to you. So all of this stuff about, especially when I get into law, people want to talk about, law and what you can and can't say to the police or whatever. And you won't even stand up for your rights because you're so scared. Well, what are you scared of? Let's understand this. If the police come upon you, and if you ain't kicked nobody else's ass, then you don't have anything to worry about. Now, if you just left home and beat the hell out of your son or whatever you did, then yeah, you should be a little bit nervous when that police officer pulls you over because you done put out some energy that the universe might be ready to bring back on you. But if you haven't put out that type of energy, if all of the energy you have put out has been in love, then you should not be receiving that back. So you see people going through this, that's the universe telling you they put out that energy. That's the only way you're getting it back. If you see all this talk, that poor old woman, she got beat down. I'm not telling you not to feel some kind of way, but understand that the universe is speaking. And that if you have to understand and come up with, stop with all the emotions. I mean, I understand we are trained to be emotional, but understand that the universe speaks. And you're getting whatever energy you put out. So that's one of the things that we need to deal with. You can learn, I can teach you all the law in the world, but if you're not willing to stand up for your rights, you don't deserve them and you'll never get them because you're fearing. So we need to understand the main thing, whatever energy you put out must come back. If you don't know the universal laws, please pull them down and understand how they work. And the other thing is put out energies, put out positive energies to your people, and that energy will come back to you. All right, let's see, make sure I went over everything. All right, and by the way, you know what? Let me say this too, because I get a lot of people who want to say, yeah, how you know, Diva? That ain't scientific. Look, let me tell you something. I live off these laws. So I mean, I can give you plenty of examples, but I'm gonna just give some quick ones. For example, when I first left the country, I had to create a brownie business because the music. Some of y'all know I sing for a living. I might work 6 hours a week, and everything's taken care of. I got 3 bills. Not that it's bragging. I'm just telling you I live off the laws. So when I first started, I had a brownie business. Now I'd sell my brownies for I don't know, $10. So I'm selling them, and I do well. I normally sold out. But as the music started to pick up, I didn't have to sell the brownies anymore. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't sell the brownies, and I started giving them away. So I started giving my brownies away, and I started to realize I made more money off the brownies when I gave them away than I ever did when I was selling them. I was giving them, because I didn't want to stop making the brownies. Everybody knew me as, the brownie lady. Yeah, Diva with the brownies. You got some brownies, Diva? Let me get a brownie. They always knew that I had the brownies, and I loved making the brownies. So I didn't want to stop doing them. So now I started putting my little tags on it with my name and my number, and it's got a little universal law on it. And I'm giving these away at my shows, and I'm making more money when I gave the brownies away than when I was selling them. And so now, I give all kind of stuff away now. Now my thing is just giving stuff. The other thing that I do, like for example, when I wanted, because I'm manipulating these laws. So it's not like you have to tiptoe around like, oh, well, that's the law. And it's a law, and you can use it to your advantage. Those in power use it all the time against you. So you need to know these laws so that you can use them to your advantage. So for an example, when I was doing a show, I decided I didn't want to pay for my rooms anymore. I want the price to go down. And I want, really nice hotel rooms, and I want this and that and that. So I decided on one of the shows that I did, I was like, I'm gonna pay for somebody's hotel. I'm gonna give away a free hotel room. And then I did a great show, and it was this one young lady, and she was very appreciative of my music, blah blah blah. I love you, Diva, blah blah blah. I paid for her hotel room that night. Well, after that, I had my next hotel rooms really within the week. As a matter of fact, the next place I stayed, I didn't have to pay for hotel because they were like, "Hey, Diva, we've got a big group here, and we'd love for you to sing," and they were gonna pay me. I was like, "No, don't worry about that. Just give me the week free." And that was it. So that's a bill. Listen, I don't have 3 bills: where I live, what I eat, and my transportation. That's it. That's a bill I didn't have to worry about. And it got better. It got better. So it's like, not only that, I did it with water. I've done it with all kind of things. And it's just giving. I just find ways to give and put out positive energy. And that's what we have to do. When I tell you these laws are real, I'm not just speaking this. Again, I don't want you to believe me. I want you to look it up. Then I want you to apply the knowledge so that you can gain wisdom. I'm not just speaking this. I'm telling you what I live. And you can do the same thing. Money is not an issue when you start getting your energy right. Everything you want will come to you when you are right with the universe. And that means getting your energy right, doing for others, doing for your people, and hell, doing for yourself, loving yourself. When you start doing that, everything you want is going to come to you. Let me see if I have any questions. Let me see. Ebony, hey sis. Roscoe, I can't. All right, so I'm going to see if I have any questions. Do I have any questions popping up? Because I can't scroll through this thing for whatever reason. All right, well, listen, that's it. Universal law. In a couple of days, I'm going to speak on laws of the land. We're going to talk about what a traffic ticket really is. We're going to talk about what these laws are that you all keep going by, what the government, quote unquote, government really is, because it's really not a government, and why you shouldn't be fearing. Does anybody, hey Edward, anybody else have any questions? I can't see this thing. But if you have any questions, inbox me for the next one, and I'll try to get them answered. Diva Lyri, I'm out. Peace.